Oh, how I love the new crafter, flicking lever after lever after lever. 3 dispensers! What's up, guys? Eddie67716 here, and welcome back to my 11th and a very exciting Redstone tutorial. In this one, we'll be looking at the new Auto Crafter block that got released in 1.21, and this one's going to be very epic, I can assure you that. As it's been released in 1.21, it's one of the more revolutionized Redstone components, just like the copper globe that got released at the same time. Anyway, let's get into it. The crafter would attempt to craft something when powered. So as you can see here, I've got the recipe for a copper block using copper, and if I press this button, it fires it out. So at the push of a button, you can craft any item you want. Now, if nothing is in the crafting grid, or the grid contains an invalid recipe, it will fail to craft. So this one has an invalid recipe, and this one's empty, and when I push the button, it turns on, but it doesn't craft anything. Now, crafters will spit out the crafted item wherever the mouth is positioned. So this one's positioned up, and it's crafting blaze powder. This one's positioned down, also assumes it's blaze powder. And yeah, it comes out the position it's facing. Now, if positioned towards a chest, the crafted item will end up in the chest, and it works the same for like hoppers, droppers, and all other containers. In here you can see I have the recipe that turns a block into 9 redstone, and when push a button, you have 9 redstone. And the same here. Now a hopper pointing to the crafter will actually fill each grid column by column, row by row, from left to right and then going down. So as you can see here, I have a redstone block. If I push this button, it will then fill up every row like this. And then I can press that again and it's become block. So because of that, all you have to do is fill in items in sequential order from left to right downwards, and you can craft virtually anything. Now crafters can have their grid spots disabled for certain crafting recipes, such as sticks. Now as you can see here, I've got wood here. If I turn this on, you can see it's going to fill up and will allow the crafting of sticks, and then if I press the button, some sticks are created. And to toggle them, you can just right click like this, so you could basically make anything you need. So you could technically make doors like this. See? When using a comparator on a crafter, each grid slot with one or more items or a disabled slot will increase the output by 1 signal strength. So as you can see here, this should be a signal strength of 9, and if you look closely where it's, oops, wrong button, where it says down here at the bottom right, just between north and south, it says power of 9, and this can be altered. If I turn these off, it will be a power level of 1. So it can actually be used as a adjustable signal strength encoder, but I prefer to use a book so you can get from 0 to 15 if you want to. But anyway, this actually allows you to automate a lot of the crafting functions. Now, as this thing says earlier, like you can detect, you can use this functionality to completely automate some of the simpler crafting recipes. Like this will convert an iron bar, well 9 iron bars into a block and then back into 9 iron bars. So, what I have here is a book set to 8. This is one of my 1 to 15 books. So, if I set it to 8, it will subtract 8 from the signal strength of 9, leaving 1. That gets amplified by this repeater, and then that will be used to craft these iron bars into iron blocks, and then this will do the exact opposite. So this just keeps running on and on. And it's really cool, because this is actually one of the most important devices in crafting. Like, you can actually just use a crafter with like 8 of the slots turned on here, if you don't want to go through like building a book and all that, but you can basically use anything just to make sure it has a signal strength of 8. And then you can do automatic crafting. Now this final thing I have here, it allows you to build a more complex crafting recipe. It takes roughly 7 seconds or so. It's a little slow because it's not quite hopper speed, because if you try to build this with hopper speed, it actually has issues because hoppers don't always update in the same order due to a weird chunk reload bug, which is what this Minecraft bug here is. In fact, these two Minecraft bugs bug me more than any other bug. Oh great, I made a pun. Anyway, here I have set up, I think this is the crafting recipe for a crafter. Funnily enough. Yep, this has gotta be a crafter. So if I just push this button, and then you can see here, all the things needed to build a crafter will load in here, and then, because it's using the same device from earlier, which takes a single strength of 8 from one of 9, and then loads it back here, and there you have all the crafters. And I can hit this one more time, and yep, this is an auto crafter. And you can use machines like this to automate the crafting of many different recipes. Now, at the beginning of the video, I actually showed this thing here, but what you have is, since dispensers are such a tricky item to craft, since they require a bow, and bows aren't stackable, what is best to do is use this device. So this is a dropper recipe right here. But when the bow fills up the last slot remaining, it will be a dispenser recipe, and this just uses a... Oh yeah, I forgot. I actually built this as a timer, so I can just run this forever, and it will craft all these dispensers. So yeah, that would actually make dispenser crafting much easier. That's one of my favorite things about the crafter. It makes crafting some of the more complicated items like dispensers a lot easier. Oh yeah, and this device earlier that converts iron bars into iron. Actually, I called it bar because I use a customized resource pack that I built myself. But anyway, you can use this in a iron golem farm, and you can also do it to turn, like, you can actually use it to craft virtually anything from farms. So you can, like, compact iron or gold from a zombie piglin farm, and it's very good at cutting out a lot of unnecessary crafting. Oh yeah, and to craft a crafter, you need iron in the shape of a helmet with a crafting table, a dropper, and 2 redstone down here. And as this is a crafter, it's going to be a lot more easier for me to show off these crafting recipes from now on, which will make my life just a teeny bit easier. Okay, this is a prototype witch farm I've been developing in my free time, and as you can see, there's huge amounts of redstone and even some glowstone. And if you heard what I said earlier, it's easier to, like, take certain blocks and recraft them. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna repurpose this farm so that all the redstone will get filtered using a classic item filter, and they'll be run into a crafter, converted to a redstone block, then stored in a chest. Okay, so now I've set up your basic item filters. This design is everywhere. Virtually any YouTube video will link to it, and I even speak about it in my video on hoppers. So I've set it up with a filter item with a custom-made feather, and I've got all the items I want, and this one can be used for any excess. But what I want to do is this line which filters out redstone, I want to turn the redstone into blocks. So what we'll need to do is we need to come here, place a hopper, well, I mean a crafter, and then we'd have to figure out the best way to do it. So what we could probably do is this block will probably not power, so maybe we can place it here. Maybe not. So sometimes you gotta, like, figure out what's the best place for this. And in fact, I probably should have shifted it one more block across, but let's see if I can make this work. So what we need to do is get a signal out. Great, I've misplaced comparators. So let me just get a comparator. Maybe this would be a right place. Place it here, but that might lock that hopper. Maybe I'll alter it to face this way and then fill up this grass. So, could I do it here? I think this will work. And then make sure this is in subtract mode. And then that could run into a... No, that's not a good idea either. Because now, that's where I want to place a block. I'm gonna have to do some rethinking. Alright, what I think I'll do is I'll have the crafter facing downwards, and that could face into a hopper into a chest. So, if I put some chests here and a hopper here, now that gives room to build the rest of it. So what we could probably do is take a signal from... Alright, I think this will work. So if I take a signal from here, put in subtract mode, put my lectern here with the book on a signal strength of 8, then put another comparator here. Now this block here would only power that chest, and that won't really do anything to the chest. And then we can put redstone facing into here, that faces into a block, but that actually means I'll have to move that one forward, which is easy. And then just place a block here. And I think this should work. Let's try it. Now I'll need to face that hopper here. And if I get some redstone and start filling this up, let's check if it's working. Okay, so it's filling up the item stuff. And then once this reaches, I think, 42, it will start to flow through. Okay. So, it's going in here, it's going in here. Oh. That's, it's just filtering it through. Ah, not again. I've lowered this down a block, and as you can see, it's actually spitting them out. Maybe I'll just put a chest here. And this should be working now. But yeah, I definitely should have put more space, because this took a lot more room than I thought it did. But yeah, that's one way how you can use a crafter in practice. It will now filter out all the redstones in this line, and convert it all into redstone blocks. This is ugly as sin, actually. But it works, and you can get the basic principle. Okay, I did a teeny bit more modification, and I've redirected this hopper through here so that it doesn't get locked, which could halt on progress, but it wouldn't really happen that much in practice, but it's just something I tried doing. Anyway, you can also use this in an iron farm to turn all the ingots into irons, and you can also use it to take bone meal from a composter from all the poppies that an iron golem farm will drop, and even carrots if you have one of those villager-based farms like the one Impulse built. And then you can turn that into bone meal and then craft it into bone blocks. So crafters do revolutionize automation in farming and everything like that. But I'll show you one more device, and then I'll end up the video. Alright, I'm going to show you how to build that dispenser crafter from earlier. And this can be used to change some other recipes. So, I've got here some chests, and I got crafters. So what you gotta do, actually, is make sure this crafter faces this way, and that this one faces into it, like that. And then you can face it into a chest. And then what you need to do is, you can come to the back, and because of Target Block's ability to, like, redirect redstone, we can do a system like this. And then we can run a line into here, and then connect this line to one of these clocks, and put a 1 tick delay here. And then technically, okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, I got the order mixed up. Fix that like that. And then, yeah, that needs to direct into a block, but I can do that here. And then, because, it has to direct in. Can you put redstone on top? Okay, I think that will work. I should really do a bit more work before I do one of these. But I'll just do it this way. Like this. And then this should work. Oh wait, no. That will work. And then all we have to do is fill this up with like the arrow recipe, the bow recipe, and the dropper recipe. Which we'll just need cobble, which I'm using a texture pack that calls it cobble, and then sticks, and string. And so we can just, we can do that and make it easier to do the dragging. And then here. And then this should do it. Craft dispensers. There we go. So that's how you build one of these. Okay, this will be the end of this video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please leave a like and maybe comment down below some suggestions for future redstone tutorials. And also subscribe to the channel. It helps motivate me to keep making content. And, well, stay tuned for the next redstone tutorial, which will actually be on slime blocks and honey blocks. This is being Eddie 7716. Goodbye!